Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to demonstrate how to retrieve a table from pgadmin and store it in a folder using Apache NiFi. Before connecting Apache NiFi to the PostgreSQL database, we first need to install the JDBC driver. JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity. It is a Java-based API that allows applications like Apache NiFi to connect to databases such as PostgreSQL, MySQL, or Oracle and perform operations like reading or writing data. So first, let's download the PostgreSQL JDBC driver. To do so, I will open a new tab in the browser and search for PostgreSQL JDBC driver. From the results, open the official website jdbc.postgresql.org. On the PostgreSQL JDBC download page, you can see different versions of the driver for different Java versions. Even though I am using Java 21, the Java 8 JDBC driver is compatible with the newer Java versions. So I'll download the Java 8 version. As the file is downloaded, you can see it in the downloads folder. Next, copy the downloaded .jar file and place it inside the Apache NiFi lib folder. This allows Apache NiFi to load the JDBC driver and communicate with the PostgreSQL database. Now let's go back to the Apache NiFi interface. Next, here I'm going to create a new processor. Click on the processor icon and search for SQL. Here you will see several processors. But for this demonstration, I will select QueryDatabaseTable record because we want to retrieve records from a database table. In this example, we will fetch the records from the students table in the PostgreSQL database and store them in the CSV file. So now I will add the QueryDatabaseTable record processor to the canvas. Next, we also need another processor to store the data into a folder. For that, we will use the PutFile processor. Click on the processor icon again. Search for PutFile, select it, and click Add. Now we have two processors on the canvas, QueryDatabaseTable record and PutFile. Next, we need to configure the QueryDatabaseTable record processor. Right-click on the processor and select Configure. Inside the Configure settings, we need to configure a database connection pooling service, also known as DBCP connection pool. Click on the three dots icon and select Create New Service. From the list, select DBCP connection pool and click Add. Next, click on the three dots again and choose Go to Controller Service. Sometimes NiFi may ask you to save changes before opening the controller service. If it asks, click Yes. Now click on the three dots next to the DBCP connection pool service and select Edit. Here we need to configure the database connection settings. First, we provide the database connection URL. The database connection URL tells Apache NiFi how to connect to the database. For PostgreSQL, the connection URL looks like as shown here. So first of all, let me explain this briefly. The JDBC here indicates that Java database connectivity and PostgreSQL indicates the type of database. Localhost indicates that the database is running on the local system. 5432 is the default SQL port. Demo is the name of the database. Next, we provide the driver class name. The driver class name tells Apache NiFi which JDBC driver to use for the database connection. For PostgreSQL, the driver class name is org.postgresql.driver. Next, we need to specify the database driver location. This is the path where the PostgreSQL JDBC is located. Since we placed the file inside the NiFi library folder, we copy that folder path and paste it here. Next, we need to provide the database username. For PostgreSQL, the default username is usually Postgres. Then we need to provide the database password, which is the password you set during PostgreSQL installation. After filling in all fields, perform verification. If the verification results show success, it means the configuration is correct. Then click on the three dots and select Enable. Once the service is enabled, it means the database connection service is working properly. Now return to the processor's configuration. Next, we need to specify the table name whose records we want to retrieve. In this example, I am using the students table, which contains the details of 4 students, Ravi, Priya, Arjun and Sneha. So in the table name field, I will enter students. Next, we configure the record writer. The record writer is used to write the retrieved data into a specified format. Apache NiFi allows us to convert the data into formats such as CSV, JSON, or XML, etc. For this demonstration, I will use the CSV record set writer. Select CSV record set writer and click Add. After adding it, go to the controller service and enable the service. Now move back to the processor and click verification. There we can see that the configuration is validated, which means all the properties we have given have passed the validation. Now let's move back to the scheduling tab, and I'm going to change the run schedule from 1 minute to 5 seconds so that the processor runs continuously at a 5 seconds interval. Next move to the relationships tab and select automatically terminate when it is success. Then click apply. Next connect both the processors. Next configure the PutFile processor. Right click on it and select configure. In the relationships tab, enable automatically terminate for both failure and success. In the directory property, we need to specify the destination folder where the files will be stored. For this example, I'll create a folder named put data file. Copy the folder path and paste it into the directory property. Also, don't forget to remove the double quotes and then click OK. Next, perform the verification. You can see that the verification has passed and then click apply. Next, we can start the processors. Start both processors and wait for a few seconds. Now you can see that the records are being transferred. The connection queue shows that the flow files are moving from the QueryDatabaseTable record processor to the PutFile processor. Now open the destination folder. Here you can see that the files containing the database records have been successfully created. You may notice that the multiple files are being generated. This is because the processor is continuously running. If you want to run the processor only once, you can right click on the processor and select Run Once. This will execute the processor only one time and retrieve the data once. And that's how we can retrieve data from a PostgreSQL table using Apache NiFi and store it in a folder. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more tutorials.